Hello, I'm Monica, and I'm gonna tell a story about my wedding. Yes, I got married in October. It was beautiful, wonderful, legal, everything counts. It ended up being a wonderful time, but that's not necessarily what this story is about. 3 weeks before our wedding, I got what I thought was extremely stressed. I just was so anxious about the wedding and that I started to get sick all the time. Eating anything in the middle of the night, my stomach would start to hurt. I'd have to wake up and go to the bathroom or throw up. This, luckily, only went on for 2 full weeks before I called the doctor. Did you know, if you call a doctor and tell them that you've had this problem for 2 weeks, they will say, call us back after it's been 3 weeks. Lucky for us, my wedding was in the middle of that 3rd week, so I did not have any medical attention and was still just convinced that it was stress. I went through my wedding with this horrible inability to eat and stress, and so I had to try to do some other things. But don't worry, every doctor I ended up talking to did say, at least you lost weight. So thinking it was stress, I essentially put together this cocktail of supplements and other natural things to try and calm my nerves. One, because I don't like to take a lot of medication. I do have an anxiety medication. But the bigger reason was that 2, I didn't want to have that help by taking a medication and then not be able to drink at my own wedding. Yes, I did think ahead that far. Morning of the wedding, we are in our suite getting ready or preparing to get ready. And I, of course, have a full-on panic attack right there in the morning, laying on the bed, crying. My mother is rubbing my stomach, which was very sweet. My best friend is there. He's making me feel better. My cousin shows up too. They're very understanding people. That day, every hour, I took essentially, it had to be worth $30 every time I took. So it was like theanine. I have a stress relief that's like valerian root and different things like that. A CBD supplement that I normally take. And then I have a CBD tincture that I was adding to that. About every hour, I'd say, hey Dad, can you get me one of those, the white pills? Can you get me one of those black pills? Can you bring me that tincture over here? And I just kept adding more, which is another reason I wanted to do the natural stuff, because it did help. It did help. It got me through all of it. And I was just kind of feeling fine, not good necessarily, but, and I take this one with me. This is the Black Creek Calm Tincture. I like the tincture because you can measure out how much you want. This one's 1,200 milligrams, but you could do half of a dropper or, a little bit of it just to see how it feels. And then you could do more. The other thing about the Black Creek Calm Tincture that I like is that it does not taste like grass. It actually tastes really nice. It smells nice, smells like Christmas. Hemp products in general taste like lawn clippings, like you opened the lawnmower and you're like, this will make me feel better. Great. Yeah, delicious. It tastes really good, so it didn't bother me to keep taking it. And then, I get to a calm enough level. We get there, we do the ceremony, which is great. We get through it, then we can have a couple drinks. Everything's fine. I definitely, if you see the video of the ceremony, I'm swaying the whole time, but we get through it. And our officiant was very funny. Both of our vows were very great. You cry a little bit. It was nice. Everybody cried. It was awesome. Then, I assume after the whole, I'm so excited to be married. The stress can be gone. I'm assuming it's all gonna go away, and it does not. I continue to get sick and things a few days after this, leading me to then call the doctor again, go in. A bunch of tests, blood tests, poop tests, gross, but that's what happened. So, if you've never done a stool sample, you have to collect your own poop and then take it to a Walgreens, and then that lady's got to deal with it. I don't know. None of the tests came back conclusive, so I end up having to go to a specialist, a stomach specialist, and they want to do an endoscopy and see what's going on in there. But before she does that, she gives me a few more tests. And so I am like hoping that these tests come back with something fucked up. It was a very odd position to be in, to be like, oh, I hope it's this disease. Because I didn't want to have to I don't like going under. I didn't want to have to do any sort of procedure. So I take these tests that show kind of like an insane amount of inflammation in my stomach, in my intestines and my stomach. And then we test for C Diff. No one in their right mind has ever crossed their fingers that they have C Diff, which I wish I could tell you what that stands for, but Tig Notaro had it. And guess what? That's what I had. I had C Diff the whole time during my own wedding. It was great. I wish we had known that. Funny enough, you get C. diff from taking antibiotics, and then they treat it with taking antibiotics. It's very confusing, but I had a throat infection in August, took antibiotics for that. That seemed to have, it like ruins the bacteria in your stomach, the good bacteria in your stomach, and then the bad whatever. Science is what happens. So you take an antibiotic, science happens in your body, and then you have this illness. So I had C. diff through my whole wedding. How fun is that? But it was interesting. I'm glad I learned about my different stress, because it didn't make my stomach hurt either. That was the other part. I was worried taking anything, any supplements or anything, would make my stomach hurt, but I got this, I have vegetarian capsules for some things. That helps. And then this doesn't bother it at all. So at least I know now that if I get in a stressful type of situation where I was also taking saffron. Did I mention that? Saffron is apparently a mood enhancer. Very expensive. Yeah, the stuff that's really expensive. It was a gift. So I didn't have to do the endoscopy and stuff because this was what it was. Otherwise, it was going to be something that or could potentially be something I would have to live with forever. Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, cancers, things that would be on a grander scale. So this was good for me. If you have those things, I'm sorry, and I hope they are manageable. Although it's a ridiculous story and it feels like par for my life that would happen during my wedding, and then to have every doctor say, well, at least you lost weight for your wedding. Mostly I want to share that I like the natural stuff. I like the natural remedies, and you can, this is the tincture, Black Creek, BLK, Black Creek Calm. They got a lot of other stuff too, but these are the tinctures. And I like them so much that you can use code Monica15 on their website and get 15% off. Worth it. Could save you at your wedding. Could calm you down at your wedding and save your whole wedding, even though you're sick. What a fun story,